I spent 2 full days at home, partly to rest and partly to calm down the summoned entities who were still all worked up. Juyuk wasn't exactly fine either. He'd been directly caught up in a terrorist attack, and in the process people died. No, they were killed. It was basically like he killed them, who summoned John Cossack and Meatshield. Even though he acted like nothing was wrong on the outside, inside, the weak man Bong Juyuk was in shock. To recover his mental state, he didn't even enter the tower and just took it easy, cleaning with Rajix while he went squeak squeak, grilling meat, putting food straight into Veronica's mouth while she slept, boiling ramen as a palate cleanser, getting yelled at by Gyandale, "You bastard!" when Cossack had his noodles. I feel better. After having fun like Novelite, don't copy, read here, that I didn't send them all back until the afternoon. Sometimes you need time alone, too. Drinking solo for the first time in a while, I set up the booze and snacks, and it was an expensive whiskey I'd bought at a department store, something about single malt sherry cask. I'd originally bought 3 bottles to drink with the summoned entities, but they all waved me off, saying it was too harsh. Works for me. They were giving me a chance to drink expensive liquor by myself. I turned on the TV, poured it over a glass packed with ice, and sipped away when the news happened to come on. The heroes who appeared at the showcase terror scene. Yeah, calling them heroes still wasn't enough, but what a mess. What a damn mess. The news was full of misunderstandings, and before I knew it, Cossack and Meatshield had become S++ clear record holders. Is that even a misunderstanding? Turns out the media had nailed it exactly. BZZC, and my phone rang. It was Deputy Commissioner Jun Guangil. Hello? No. I rested a bit and I'm doing better. And I've even had a drink of expensive liquor. Why Jun Guangil called. First, he told me not to worry about the media. There had been a flood of interview requests, but he hadn't accepted a single one, and it was all purely speculative reporting. And then the terrorists' identity. They were definitely Chinese. At the same time, there was a high chance they were those rumored player kidnappers, but they were keeping their mouths shut and not saying a word, so it would take time to confirm everything. But then, player kidnapping? Wasn't that just an urban legend? Creepy. In a way, humans are scarier than the tower. Then even now, the kidnapped players are locked up somewhere in China. Those pieces of shit. No matter how urgent it is, kidnapping people and forcing them into tower clears. What if they die? There's no evidence left behind. They just disappear, not just the kidnapped players. What about their families? My chest felt heavy. I was drinking solo to recover my mental state, and now I felt even worse. Should I call Cossack? At least to talk it out with someone. It's been 3 hours. Designated summon, John Cossack. Whoosh! Attention! Cossack is here, sir. Gah! You actually drank that harsh stuff? Your liver numbers go up, sir. Please restrain yourself. Then Cossack realized only he had been summoned. Hold on. Is this a mission, sir? No, I've got something on my mind. Hehehe, good call, sir. Who am I? Player Bong's right-hand man. There are no bad players in this world. A precious little counseling specialist. This Cossack will hear your worries, sir. Who's a precious little what? I'm talking about. I told him everything Deputy Commissioner Jun Guangil said. Cossack's expression hardened more and more. Even killing them 100 times wouldn't be enough, sir. Right? I just feel awful for the kidnapped players. It's depressing. Ah, this Cossack is moved by Player Bong's merciful heart, sir. Tears are clouding my vision, sir. Moved, my ass. I'm telling you I'm depressed. Cossack jumped to his feet and said, "May I step out for a bit, sir?" "Why? I'll go ask where they're keeping the kidnapped players." "Ask who?" "The one I left alive, sir." "You know where he is?" "In case he ran, I stamped him in advance, sir." I thought he was an airhead, but Cossack was incredibly thorough. Yeah, you really can't judge people by appearances. What if you ask and he won't tell you? Then we negotiate, sir. You mean threaten. If you find out, what are you going to do? Decisions are always the summoner's, sir. We simply obey when ordered, sir. No choice. At least find out. Go take your time. We can talk tomorrow. If you're hungry, buy something good with money. Prel bum novel, comb. I opened my wallet and handed Cossack a few bills. Oh, you didn't have to do that, sir. It's allowance. Attention. Thank you, sir. Then I'll be back, sir. He 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 he. After Cossack left, it got lonely again. Maybe it was the alcohol. Isn't there anyone who could drink with me? My connections are thin, so times like this feel kind of sad. I opened my status window catalog. One name in there. Mad Demon. His name was listed in the catalog, but he had the lowest rating, and I'd only called him twice. Honestly, I felt a little bad. His method was extreme, but it was all for my sake. Every time we met, I gave him a 1-star rating and kicked him out like I was chasing him off. Should I talk with him until the summon time limit today? See if his thinking has changed. Drink together. Designated summon Mad Demon. Whoosh! A swirl of light flared, and then Mad Demon appeared. Summoner, welcome. He was still scary, but I borrowed strength from the alcohol. I wanted to talk for a bit. If you're uncomfortable, what discomfort could there be? I'm grateful you called me at all. Mad Demon and I sat across from each other at the table. Want a drink? I don't know if it'll suit your taste. Oh, this old man's mouth will be spoiled. I'll pour you a glass. And you, summoner? I should drink too. It's expensive. Ha ha ha, you should. Here, give it to me. This old man will pour first. In a way, Mad Demon really was a sucker. He got forcibly dismissed and hit with a 1-star rating twice, and yet he was smiling like that. What was he even happy about? Glug. The glass filled. One drink, then another. Alcohol gives people courage. I asked Mad Demon. That idea you talked about before, you still haven't changed, right? Conquering Earth, binding the world into a single country. Mad Demon let out a deep sigh. Who? Do you want me to change my mind? Yes. And then, Summoner, of course I can follow your command. If you told me to change my resolve, I could answer right now that I will. The mood's good, but could you believe it? This old man's obedience. Thinking about it calmly, I didn't think I could. Summoned principles. Article 3 was a decision the summoned entity made voluntarily. All summoned entities have their own standards. If they judge the summoner to be in danger, they can do anything, even if it goes against the summoner's values. Mad Demon took another drink. My summoned principles, Article 3. This is a belief born from my identity and my life's experiences. The true enemy is within. If you do not cleanse the inside, a complete tower clear will remain difficult. Mad Demon's expression looked strangely lonely. Summoner, there is no need to strain yourself trying to persuade me. You will only consume your own strength. If, someday, you judge this old man useful, then use me at that time. A belief. Yeah, it wouldn't be easy to change, but is anything truly eternal in this world? I refilled Mad Demon's empty glass. It seems you can stay quite a while today. Yes, I won't force send you back. Hehehe, what an honor. Let's pass the time, talk a lot. Whether I soak into Mad Demon's belief or Mad Demon soaks into mine, something will happen. I drank with him, trading drinks back and forth until we finished a whole bottle of whiskey and popped open a new one. Mad Demon seemed to be in a good mood too, like he was drunk. His face was flushed red. Summoner, there is something I wish to tell you. May I? Haha, say whatever you want. This world's tower clear time limit is still 6 months? Right. But do not rest easy. One day the clear time limit may change. What? What are you talking about? It could shrink? It could. The tower is fickle. In an instant, it could become 3 months, or 1 month, even half a month. Truly crafty. Just when tower clearing, according to the time limit, begins to settle into inertia, it strikes you in the back of the head. Fuck. Suddenly I felt anxious. Keep that in mind at all times, and call this old man whenever you need. When and how it changes. Can you explain more? A restriction binds me. It is difficult to say more. Someone like Mad Demon would have climbed high floors, and he might have even watched an entire world collapse. Then what about the missions on the floors we have to climb later, like what it's like above floor 71? The same applies. I do not even remember. Mad Demon and Cossack too. So this restriction thing really exists. Either way, we'll find out by climbing ourselves. That aside, a thought suddenly hit me. This was my third summon of Mad Demon, but I'd never once seen what he could actually do in the tower. I checked the clock. It had been almost 3 hours of drinking together, maybe 10 minutes left until the summon time limit. Mad Demon. Do I have to go now? The time's almost up, but want to go to the tower with me once? That's no problem. Let us go. Might as well see for myself. If we can fight together, we'll fight. Asterisk, 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 floor 61. Truly, it has been a long time since I cleared the tower. I can only thank you, Summoner, for granting me this chance. Chance? I'm the one asking. I will do my best. While we're at it, let's pull one usable item as well. I'm not even hoping. Those item reward odds were vicious. Even clearing S++ rarely gave you anything, and right now it was a repeat clear. There was no way it would give an item. A floor where crude dark mummies appear. They wear demonic energy, but, right. Do we need the holy sword? Put it away. I'm uneasy. You have to strip off the dark aura. I learnt a skill called Mixed Origin Thunderclap Staff, and I can use it with the Holy Sword too. So, will you have time to use a skill? If you step forward, you may be injured. Watching is more than enough. No, this guy too, telling me to just watch again? Mad Demon and Juhyuk left the safe zone. Mad Demon walked forward like he was taking a stroll, hands behind his back. There are two ways to deal with demonic energy. Use a power that is its opposite, like holy power, or crush it with even stronger demonic energy. A damp, ominous black aura rose from his entire body. It was more sinister than the dark aura. They aren't even a post-meal snack. Now that's Mad Demon. Why else would his name have demon in it? Let's finish quickly and leave. The summoner must be tired. Should you not sleep in comfort? Mad Demon raised his hand. Right then, swoosh, a massive, formless force blossomed from his hand. It looked like a crescent moon or a boomerang, an energy blade. The moment it formed, it launched. Tesha-pap-pap-pap, the spinning boomerang of force swept through the dark mummies. FSSSS, they crumbled and vanished like dust. In an instant, the dark mummies were there, and then they were gone. The boomerang had simply made one lap around floor 61. That was it. No second strike. Magic stone 6.1 kg. Is there a problem? I actually pulled an item. Oh, is that so? Well, that's good. This old man seems to have paid for the liquor he drank. Calling Mad Demon was the right move. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. National Intelligence Service Headquarters, Republic of Korea. Underground, there was a detention cell guarded like a fortress. Xiao Jun sat on the edge of the bed with his severed wrist wrapped in bandages, wearing anti-suicide restraints. He'd just been interrogated again with an interpreter and thrown back into confinement. Of course, he didn't say a single word, even though he understood Korean. Pathetic. Interrogation from an incompetent National Intelligence Service, trying to make him open his mouth. Xiao Jun was a trained soldier before he was even a vice director general of China's Special Intelligence Department. He'd been deployed on dozens of operations for player kidnapping, and because of the nature of the mission, he'd trained for being captured by the enemy. He believed he could endure any torture. He'd even trained to resist truth serums. He would endure to the end, and then a chance would come. He would escape, or he would walk out proudly. I should sleep. To endure torture and interrogation, maintaining stamina was essential. Fortunately, they fed him and let him sleep. If this were China, food, what food? They wouldn't have let him sleep either. Pretending to care about human rights, that's what this was. Xiao Jun lay down on the bed. Just as he was about to drift off, clack, the detention cell door opened. What? There hadn't been any sign of anyone. He jolted up and scanned around. Still no one. What the? That was when it happened. Swish! A palm covered his mouth. At the same time, some kind of force shoved into his body. Xiao Jun's body arched like a bow, a horrific pain he had never experienced before, like his muscles were ripping apart, like someone was scraping his bones with a file, like his organs were melting. He wanted to scream, but nothing came out. Shh, I only gave you a taste. What are you going to do if you can't even handle that? The voice was familiar. That's right, absolutely, the one who cut his wrist. From now on, I'm going to ask you a few questions. You must answer in Korean. Cossack whispered softly into Xiao Jun's ear. Where are you keeping the kidnapped players? If you're willing to talk, just nod. Xiao Jun's eyes rolled wildly. What do I do? In that instant, no, you're hopeless. Just rolling your eyes, still not coming to your senses, huh? Kek, agony surged again. This time it wasn't even comparable to the first. I wanted to get through this nicely if I could. Oomph, oomph, oomph. Try to endure. Your mind will break anyway. Oomph, oomph. He wanted to pass out. But, hey, I haven't even started yet. Xiao Jun wanted to nod. He was confident he could give the exact location in Korean, but his head wouldn't nod, because a hand was clamped over his mouth and his head was being held tight. No, please let me nod. I'll talk. No. Manda, no, manin, ma, mo, me, 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 ma, me, 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 mo, me, me, ma, 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 minna, ma, pe, me, mo, me, da, ma, me, 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 ma, 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 na, ma, me, ma, ma, me, 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 Spot! Juyak and Mad Demon exited the tower. Even after seeing it with my own eyes, it was hard to believe. So this is why people say legend, legend. I mean, even SSR is terrifying. So would an LSSR really be handed out for free? That was an easy 5 stars. How could I give him only 1 star after seeing that? That would be shameless. Now that we'd cleared the tower and come out, it was time for him to go. Mad Demon looked at Juhyuk and said, Summoner, yes, do not overdo it. You do not have to climb. You can hide behind others, and no one will criticize you for it. If anything, they would applaud. She meant it kindly, but telling me to just hide in the back, someday I will wait for the day I stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Even if not, call me any time you crave a drink. Spot. And with that, Mad Demon vanished. Mad Demon was full of madness the first time we met. The second time, he reflected a bit, but the madness was still there. The third time, the mood was definitely good. Even if his thinking hadn't changed, still I don't plan to work with him yet. More than anything, there's no slot, and in a few days, random summon would be available again. Come to think of it, what do I do about random summon? A tank, a melee dealer, a ranged dealer, a supporter, and an all-purpose worker. It's already a well-built team. Should I pull someone or not? If one slot opens, I'll do it then. The most important condition is an open slot. A summoned entity isn't some ordinary summon like a spirit or a golem that can't talk. It's a person meeting another person. I'd experienced it before when I pulled Radix. There was no slot. I said sorry. I said I'd call him again later, and I sent him back. I still remembered Radix's sad eyes, the principle of random summon. If trait enhancement creates one more slot, then I'll pull someone. What if something happens later? Wouldn't it be better to pull in advance? Well, it might make the person hearing it feel bad, but I have a spare. A reassuring reserve summoned entity, Mad Demon. Thinking of it, I pulled up my status window catalog. Julaibompton. I selected Mad Demon's name. Yuldendispor. He more than deserved 5 stars. He even got me an item reward. Right. I should check the item. I pulled out the still warm ring that had just come into my inventory. Information check. Tower only ring of departure. First of all, it's tower only. An item you can only use in the tower. And it's a ring again. 2 rings. One on the left hand, one on the right. Wear them as a pair. So what's the description? Tower only ring of departure. Effect. Using the tower's network, when you exit, you can emerge near the tower of a specified country. Limitation. You must designate the tower you will exit from in advance. If you do not designate it, you will exit at the location where you first entered. Feature. Upon exit, you will appear within a 10 kilometers radius centered on the tower, in a place with no people. What is this? Did I read it wrong? The tower's network. No matter how many times I rubbed my eyes, it said the same thing. Being able to exit near a specified country's tower means it's a travel ring? Like I enter in Korea and exit near the tower in America, wormhole travel or something. Even the item name is wrong. This isn't a ring of departure, it's a ring of travel. And for Ju Hyek, who can use the tower twice a day, the potential is insane. It's not even a one-time ticket. It's a permanent use item. With this, there's nowhere on Earth I can't go. Enter the tower, go to Japan, go to Italy, go to the UK, go to Australia, even go to China. Wait, China. Even if Cossack came back with the location where kidnapped players were being held, I thought a rescue would be difficult because of the physical distance. It's ridiculously far. But with this ring, getting to China would take a blink. Funny. A ring of departure drops on the floor. Mad Demon cleared. Everything clicks into place like gears. Is this telling me to conquer the world? No, don't even think it. I'll use this ring well, for other purposes. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The next morning, Ju Hyek summoned the summoned entities one by one. Today was the scheduled day for Black Tower, Republic of Korea, floor 62. But the moment Cossack was summoned, he started grilling the others about what happened last night and explaining everything in detail. Of course, it turned into chaos. Kidnapping? Ah, this girl might faint again. How can they do something worse than beasts? The warrior is enraged. A human must not do such a thing. Human's enemy is humans, sir. Sergeant Veronica Caliber concurs with Cossack, sir. That is why my magic gun is more specialized in killing humans than monsters. Squeak? These guys getting angry is basically their job these days, even cute little Rajiks. What are the rulers of this world even doing? Gyandala's face flushed red. We must rescue them at once and make China's atrocities known to the whole world. Calm down, princess. Stop your pointless fussing. What did you just say? Pointless fussing. Know your place. Someone unqualified. You bastard. Player Bong must permit it. The decision authority lies with Player Bong, sir. Oh my. Gyandala's expression changed instantly. She practically flew toward Juhyuk and bowed deeply. I am ashamed. Please scold this girl for her reckless foolishness. Actually, Juhyuk had been thinking since earlier, staring at the ring of departure on his hand. What should I do? Tower clearing is done by players. The problem is that each tower has a nationality assigned to it, which expands it into an issue of national survival. To prevent collapse, every country has to mobilize every resource it has and clear its tower no matter what. Player development at the national level is a representative method. No matter how much money it takes, they buy items, potions, skill runes, trait enhancement runes, and invest in players. If that doesn't work, they temporarily naturalize foreign players to clear the tower. But China crossed the line, forced naturalization through kidnapping players, a selfish act of letting others die so they can live. It's not even comparable to Yu Chelman's overnight escape naturalization to Japan through backroom maneuvering. This is downright shameless. How do they plan to bear that bad karma? At the same time, part of me wondered if this was sticking my nose in where it didn't belong. Who am I? Just a player. All I did was awaken with a better trait than others. Am I the world police or something? And my way of life has always been, if you see injustice, you endure it. That's my value system and my survival tactic. But what if, even if I fail, there's no risk at all? Then maybe sticking my nose in once would be okay. After thinking hard, Juhyuk finally spoke. Then let's do it as safely as possible and rescue as many as we can. Yes, sir. As if he'd been waiting, Cossack connected a laptop and threw up a map on the TV. Player Bong's right-hand man, creative strategist, tactical genius, master of life-saving, Cossack will begin the briefing, sir. A briefing again? The kidnapped players are being held at a place called Zhongnanhai in Beijing, China's capital, sir. This is Seoul, where we live, and this is Beijing, sir. Radix raised a hand. Squeak, speak, Worker Radix. It's too far. Worker Radix, an accurate point, sir. Squeak. It novelit and continue reading is important to properly allocate the 7-hour summon time, sir. This operation's success or failure depends on it, sir. There's no need to overthink it. The most common way to go to China is by aircraft, sir. Click. An image of an airplane appeared on the screen. Then Gendale raised her hand and asked, "How are we supposed to board an airplane? We have no passports, and we must pass face and identity checks. After sneaking in with stealth, inside the cabin we can use a perception interference talisman, sir." "Oh, such a method exists?" As expected of the operations staff. Squeak. Cossack smiled, twitching the corners of his mouth. "All plans are in this head, sir. No matter what unexpected situation occurs, we adapt and push through, sir." Clap, 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 clap. Applause burst out. "Then I will explain the details, sir." After taking a taxi to Incheon International Airport, Juhyuk shot his hand up. "Ah, Player Bong, you don't have to raise your hand. Speak, sir." "Let's stop and enter the tower. We said we'd clear floor 62 today." "Huh? Ah, the briefing isn't finished yet, sir. Enough. Prepare to clear." Yes, sir." "An airplane, my ass. Too much hassle. There's something faster. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Floor 62. If floor 61 was the tutorial section for undead, this place was the real starting line. Mummies were bootleg undead. It felt like they existed just to explain what dark aura was. So even light attribute items were enough to get past them easily. But floor 62 was different. Dark zombies were tough, strong, and fast. First, I should pick the tower I'm exiting to. The moment I thought that, only ring of departure. The closest one to Beijing was tower number 1. So, enter in Korea, Exit in China. And how do we get back to Korea from China? Enter the tower one more time and exit. Easy. Then floor 62 began. The moment we left the safe zone, zombies appeared all over, a darker aura than the mummies, and fast movement. Grk, guk, kirk. No need for pulling. The humanoid undead sprinted at us the moment they saw the party, eyes full of hostility. Gayandale's cleansing rite began. The drumbeat and bells of the ritual rhythm, and a mournful song. The zombies' dark aura thinned, and their movements slowed at the same time. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Veronica started dealing damage in a standing firing stance. Small mana rounds struck the dark aura, then pierced through it and sank into the body. Cuck! Meat Shield roared and charged into the zombie pack. Cossack stuck close behind him. It's definitely harder than the mummies, and it'll only get harder. Will Gayandale's cleansing rite still work in the late 60s? With the Holy Sword, I'm not too worried, but Rajix is... Huh? Roll, roll, roll. What? It's our first clear... What is he even trying to find? Rajix? Squeeng. What if he gets grabbed by a zombie? Spot, spot, spot. I chased after Rajix with shadow step. Roll, roll. Rajix rolled fast. The moment we entered, there was a smell, the same smell from the Holy Sword, holy power. Here? He grabbed a golden pickaxe and dug excitedly. Squeak! And finally, something came out, a tiny piece of wood. It looked like trash at a glance, but squeak! No doubt, a fragment of a holy relic with holy power still lingering. Its original form was probably something like a statue, a fragment of a holy attribute item. If we gather a few more, repairing the holy sword will be possible. The summoner will be happy. Rajix felt a little relieved. Soon, the summoner might summon someone new. His slot could be threatened. He had to prove his value without rest, and then he would steal the right-hand position from the assassin. That was Rajix's grand ambition. Imagining himself briefing proudly in front of the summoner made him feel very good. Squeak! He carefully placed the relic fragment into his subspace backpack. Juhyek arrived late and asked him, "What did you find?" "Yes." "Something good?" "Yes." At that moment, Atumditjundu and Foingak squeak Zomditjuntant. These increased Tsu missions. Bleachum nist. Odyssey Sambodgali the Dind, Fihumdinas Hort, Bjog. Already over, you have achieved an S++ clear rank for Black Tower, Korea, floor 62. A platinum badge will be awarded. All right, good work. And when we go outside, don't be too surprised. The summoned entities tilted their heads like they had no idea what I meant. Onomicum hunkindit right. Spot. Juhyek and the party exited the tower. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. China has 3 towers. One is near Shanghai, another is east of Xi'an City, and the last is in mountainous terrain west of Beijing. Of these, the Shanghai Tower is the most dangerous. It's close to a major city, so half of Shanghai falls within the collapse zone. Xi'an is an old ruined city itself. If it collapses, the material damage will be enormous. The Black Tower west of Beijing is relatively better off. It rises in the middle of rugged mountains, and it's about 40 kilometers away from Beijing. So considering sinkholes are usually 10 kilometers in diameter, Beijing falls outside the collapse range. Spot. The party appeared on a mountainside where the Beijing Black Tower was clearly visible. Huh? Gah. Oomph. Ah. Squeak. The summoned entities startled. Wah. This isn't the penthouse, sir. We're in the mountains, sir. What's going on, sir? Squeeng. Master, where even is this? The warrior is flustered. I let out a short laugh and said, "This is China." Huh? If you go about 40 kilometers east from here, it's Beijing. Ah, our player Bong is so funny, sir. Your sense of humor is outstanding, sir. I'm serious. Huh? When I explained the ring of departure effect in detail. Oh, as expected. Incredible. Squeak. Commander, congratulations on securing combat mobility. Cossack looked extremely excited too. East from here is Beijing, sir. I don't really know which way is east, west, south, or north. I know, sir. He stared hard in one direction. Then, please allow me to go to Beijing for a moment. Are you going to rescue them right away? No, sir. We need reconnaissance first, sir. I will only confirm, sir. Still, it'll take time. I will return from Beijing after work, sir. Then, go ahead. Spot. The moment I finished speaking, Cossack disappeared. With his steps, an hour to Beijing would be more than enough. Now what? Let's jump into the 40s and skin some basilisks. Even without Cossack, it's enough. When we exit, we'll set it to the penthouse. 50th. Near. Spot. Pa-pa-pa, spot. John Cossack sprinted hard toward Beijing. Advance reconnaissance was extremely important, especially in a rescue operation like this. Summoner Bong had given the order. Save as many as possible, as safely as possible. Then that's how it had to be. He would accomplish it, no matter what happened, a wide highway in his line of sight, and beyond it, a forest of high-rise buildings, a massive metropolis. It was Beijing, the capital of China. From here on, slowly, he slapped on a perception interference talisman and reduced his speed. There was plenty of time. He'd already said he was leaving work early, what Xiao Jun had blurted out before he finally lost it. He said the player detention site was in a building in Zhongnanhai, behind the Forbidden City. Not just the address. He'd wrung out what the building looked like and how to get inside, too. First, the place he needed to go was the tallest building in Beijing. To grasp the rough layout, a high-rise was perfect, and right in the city there was a structure similar to Namsan Tower. Maybe because it was a tourist attraction, the tower was packed with people. Cossack hid in the crowd and went up to the top. A city panorama that spread out at a glance. The Forbidden City and the buildings behind it were visible. That way. Location confirmed. Every route was stored in his head. Now the on-site recon. He left the Navarite Tower and walked at an unhurried pace. He crossed a wide plaza, looped around the pond beside the Forbidden City, and before he knew it, he'd reached the target area. This district was a zone civilians couldn't approach. From now on, he used stealth. If he moved too fast, stealth would break. Carefully, patiently, with persistence. He slipped into the building Xiao Jun had mentioned. The building's layout was complicated. Guards were posted everywhere, and every tightly shut door had fingerprint recognition, iris scans, even facial authentication. A door, huh? He casually put a hand on it. With blade energy, it would cut clean through. That's how Chinese steel doors always were. Of course, there was no need to cut it right now. Wait for someone to come, then follow them inside. This is it. A prison, or something like a psychiatric ward. A stark white corridor, rooms lined on both sides, and inside them, people who looked like players were locked up. Mostly Southeast Asian people, all wearing the same color clothing. About 8 of them. The escape route is... His brain spun fast. Where to move for maximum speed, the locations and number of guards that needed to be dealt with, where the emergency stairs were, and so on. Cossack went back outside again. The surrounding buildings, the connecting roads, the locations of guard posts. Good. Rima the Serb, the Pum. He remembered everything. But there was still a lot of time left. Should I look around a bit more? This was the core of Chinese power. So it wasn't a place civilians could casually approach. And right then, BWOOOONG, a line of black vehicles moved in formation heading somewhere. A big shot? And if it was someone big here, Spot, Cossack tailed the cars. They stopped in front of a building. A long line of people stood at attention, greeting the vehicles. And from the limousine in the center, one person stepped out. "Oh!" Cossack exclaimed. He'd seen him on TV, China's top leader, the very heart of Chinese power. Could he really just look and leave? Of course not. He had to plant the mark of tracking. A tiny lump of energy shot toward the top leader. Mark planted. An unexpected bonus. He'd been needing to cast karma anyway. Advance reconnaissance had gone extremely smoothly. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The next day, Juhyuk asked Cossack, who had been summoned and called out. "Did yesterday's recon wrap up well?" "Perfect, sir. We can execute tonight. Just the two of you. We need Sergeant Caliber." Sergeant Caliber. Ah, Veronica. At that, Veronica, who'd been dozing off beside them, snapped her eyes open. Sergeant Veronica Caliber, ready for the operation. An assassin and a sniper, the best possible combo, sure, but what about Radix and Meatshield and Princess Gyundale? "Ah, our worker Radix can just stay home and clean, sir. Meatshield and Princess Gyundale, too." Squeak? Still, you should all get together and talk it through. Even a sheet of paper is stronger when you lift it together, sir. Hehehe. So the summoned entities gathered in a corner of the living room. "Sergeant Caliber, how far can you lower the output on your magic gun? Enough to knock someone out if they get hit. I can use paralysis rounds. Will it kill them? Usually not. Well, if you're unlucky, it might want to get hit and see. Shoot Meatshield. I want to shoot you. Show me your ass." "Really, sir? I'm pulling my pants down?" "Cuh, squeak." Warm, friendly conversation went back and forth. Yeah, summon them often and live together, and it felt like they'd all gotten noticeably closer. Worker Radix. "Squeak! Give Sergeant Caliber plenty of ammo." "Squeak! Princess Gyandale, use perception interference talismans for us." "How many?" "8, but I'd like the effect to last only about an hour. Can you do that?" "That is not difficult." And I saw someone there. He was so excited, so excited. The meeting went longer than expected. The more thorough the plan, the better. And when all preparations were complete, after the summoned entities returned, Juhyuk called Cossack and Veronica out around midnight. They entered Black Tower, Republic of Korea Floor 1, finished setting the exit, and after killing the grubs, Spot, the three appeared at Black Tower, China. China's Tower number 1, No 1, west of Beijing. Then good luck, certain victory. I will dedicate all glory to you, Commander. Attention! Summoner Bong's right hand, the master of guerrilla warfare, the ace of hostage rescue. This Cossack will complete the mission and return, sir. Was this a loyalty contest or what? It was embarrassing. Spot, Cossack and Veronica vanished quickly. Juhyek waited for a while, until they were far away from him. If they were too close, they'd enter the tower together. Maybe about an hour passed. This should be enough, right? Juhyek entered Black Tower, China Floor 1 alone again. After abandoning the mission and coming back out, it was the penthouse. This is seriously convenient. No risk burden either. He didn't think the operation would fail. Who would mess with those two? If anything, he just felt sorry for the ordinary people on the other side. He only hoped they wouldn't cause a massive incident. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Deep Night. The Special Intelligence Department for Tower Clearing Compound in Zhongnanhai. It was past 2 a.m., but Wien, a Vietnamese player, couldn't sleep. He still regretted it. Why had he acted alone back then? He'd been hungry, and going out alone to grab late-night buncha had been a mistake. After being dragged away by strangers, injected with a drugged syringe, and blacking out, he'd woken up here. Kidnapping. The player kidnappings he'd only heard rumors about. There were many others in the same situation as him. They'd tortured him the moment he arrived. They'd threatened to kill his family if he didn't cooperate. In the end, Nguyen gave up. He stamped the paperwork saying he would renounce his original nationality and naturalize as Chinese. It was a truly strange thing. The moment he stamped the naturalization documents, his Black Tower affiliation changed to China, and so began the forced clearing of Black Tower, China. Nguyen cooperated as much as he could. He even cleared upper floors that hadn't been cleared yet. If he didn't, he'd be killed. 3 towers in total. They assigned teams for each tower, and if an uncleared floor wasn't cleared within the time limit, horrific torture awaited. More than 10 people had died that way. They also kept threatening to murder families. Once a week, they showed him photos of his family back in Vietnam. He'd received them again today. His wife riding a scooter to work, his young daughter walking to school, and his parents. His family probably thought he was already dead. If only he could tell them he was still alive. How could anyone sleep in a situation like this? He might not even get to see them before he died, his beloved family. In that instant, 10, thud, thump, thump, strange sounds coming from the corridor. What is it? The sounds kept coming. Nguyen shot up. Don't tell me. Something was happening. Nguyen pressed his ear tightly to the door, the sound of doors opening, voices like people gasping in surprise. Then, a moment later, click, Nguyen's door opened too. Who? Someone stood in the doorway. It was definitely a person, but he couldn't make out their face. Shh! The unknown man put a finger to his lips, then pulled a sheet of paper from his pocket and handed it to Nguyen. This is yellow paper with red writing, a talisman. Something you could see often even in Vietnam. Flick, the man lifted his top. A talisman stuck to his chest. You want me to put it on, like this? There was no choice. He could only do as told. Nguyen stuck the talisman on himself and stepped outside, and he froze. Gasp! People lined up awkwardly in the corridor. Players who, like him, had been kidnapped. Strange. He couldn't tell who was who. Was it because he was tense? Nguyen looked around. Guards and public security officers from the Chinese government were collapsed all over the corridor. The only people still standing were the unknown man and the kidnapped players. Then, KWA, Quang. A deafening boom, like an explosive going off, shook the inside of the building. Where? The players panicked. But the man didn't even flinch, like he'd known it would happen. He simply gestured indifferently. Follow him? They had to. If there was a way out, the kidnapped players followed him, including Nguyen. A closed door at the end of the hallway. The man drew 2 daggers, Ziyang, blades shining like lightsabers. KRK. A steel door cut into neat squares. This is insane. A real lightsaber or a laser? No time to argue the details. The kidnapped players rushed through the cut-open door. No one stopped them. No, there had been people, but they were all down on the floor. The kidnapped players ran blindly after the man. Chinese public security and guards poured out from all directions. But, P-shut. They dropped one after another to bullets flying in from somewhere. Only then did the surroundings come into focus. An old palace-like complex, and far beyond it, high-rise buildings. Nguyen felt overwhelmed. How long had it been since he'd been outside like this? Could he really make it home? Veronica, the peerlessly accurate ranger of the Magic Empire. Her power came from the equipment she wore. An enhancement suit that clung tight to her body without even a flutter, and the magic eyes and assault combat walker that enabled automatic aiming. Perched in a roadside tree, Veronica watched the rescue targets sprint out of the building. Friend or foe identification complete. Escort mission start. They needed to draw attention one more time. She fired one more large round into the upper floors of a dark, distant building. P.A. Jujuk, KWA, KWA, Kwang. Then she jumped down from the tree and followed behind the kidnapped players like a rear guard. The assassin was in front, and she was behind. With perception interference talismans stuck on them, not many would be charging at them anyway. Still, just in case, she put down any armed units that stood out with paralysis rounds. PA shut, PA shut, PA shut. Their final destination was the U.S. Embassy. The assassin said once he got them there, the mission was over. He's a strange man. Usually he was a sycophant, light and shameless to the point of being ridiculous. Still, credit where it was due. This whole plan had come out of his head. Veronica kept running in the rear. The U.S. Embassy came into view. The operation was a smashing success. Asterisk, 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 KWA, 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 Kuang. Chinese Chairman Lin Chaoming woke up after hearing the first explosion, and then, shortly after, the second blast. KWA, KWA, Kuang. What the hell? A call came in at perfect timing. From his secretary. Fine, we'll talk in the office. Chairman Lin Chaoming hurried out of his bedroom and into his office. What in the world is going on? It seems to be terrorism. Terrorism? And say it, our naturalized players escaped. What? If the naturalized players had escaped, Special Intelligence Department? Yes. He wasn't even angry, just stunned. Explosions in the heart of Chinese power and kidnapped players escaping. How was that possible? Did you catch them? I'm going to lose my mind. Chairman Lin Chaoming dropped into his chair and closed his eyes slowly. Whatever the case, it had happened. What mattered now was damage control. He had to handle it quickly. Declare an emergency security posture across all of Beijing. Mobilize everyone, public security, soldiers, all of them, and find the ones who escaped. One more thing. And the escaped players, revoke their Chinese nationality immediately. Wipe the records and evidence too. Everything. Leave no trace. Yes, a leader must always assume the worst-case scenario. If this became public, China's prestige would crash into the dirt. Imandav. Purge the Special Intelligence Department too. A purge, meaning kill them. The entire organization. Yes, executives, staff, field agents, bring back even the ones dispatched overseas. All of them, fast. Understood. The secretary left to carry out the orders. Chairman Lin Chaoming was left alone in his office. He pulled out a cigarette, put it between his lips, and lit it. It would be nice if they caught the escapees, but even if they got away, it didn't matter. Cut off the tail, play dumb. As always, the Chinese government would deny every fact about player kidnappings. And besides, the kidnapped ones were players from developing countries with weak national power. They'd bark, sure, but that was all. What could they do? Chairman Lin Chaoming walked toward the map hanging on his office wall. China, vast territory, the world's largest population. So why were talented players always in short supply? Why couldn't they cross the floor 60 threshold? Why did they keep floundering like this? The neighboring country, the Republic of Korea, was the exact opposite. Overflowing with talent. The S++ clear record holder proved it. Damn it. Cigarette smoke rose thickly. Lin Chaoming shook his head. He'd purged his opposition and climbed all the way to the peak of power. He'd worked so hard for the glory of China. The Republic of Korea, he wanted to annex it. Even if it meant starting a war, he wanted to unify them into one country. If it weren't for the United States, a war would have broken out already. Use North Korea to push a full-scale war. Right then. A chill shot through him. The back of his head tingled. He heard footsteps, too. Someone was here. This was his office. He tried to turn his head. Damn! He couldn't move, like his entire body was stuck in a spider web. He couldn't even open his mouth. Our princess says, Korean? Usually, emperors and national leaders have different standards of karma than ordinary people. Cossack placed both hands gently on Lin Chaoming's shoulders. The bad karma of a national leader is supposedly laziness, sloth, indulgence. Those are the biggest sins. Whether Lin Chaoming understood or not, Cossack kept talking. Politicians who throw governance aside, guzzle booze, wallow in pleasure, and don't care for the country. Because then the people suffer. Lin Chaoming felt like he was going to go insane. But dictators are different, apparently. Especially ones with plenty of supporters, ones who set their own policy standards and govern. Because someone benefits from it, they can get judged as having good karma. Isn't that hilarious? It was definitely Korean, but he couldn't understand a single word. No matter how many people they kill and purge, if the country develops and grows rich, it counts as legitimate rule. I can't agree at all, but Princess says so, so I have to believe it. Twitch. A suspicious energy pushed in through his shoulders, and through it all the man's voice kept going. No, does that make sense? Why are the standards different? It's not even a special privilege. That's why I hate politicians. Who the hell was this? Was he the one who'd shown up at HG Hotel? The one who'd wiped out China's Special Intelligence Department agents? If so, he wanted to speak. He'd give him anything he wanted, just come to China. But his tongue was stiff, and he could barely breathe. Suddenly, his head felt like it was about to split. At the same time, his eyelids grew heavy. If karma won't work, then I'll have to find another way. You're someone who threatened my summoner's life, and someone who might keep threatening it. Lin Chaoming tried to stay conscious. Consider it luck you didn't welcome the mad demon. Die quietly. His knees started to buckle like he was about to collapse. Cause of death will be a brain hemorrhage, got it? A blood vessel bursting in your brain. No one will be able to do anything. It won't be just one spot, either. But you won't die right away. Suffer in bed for about 10 days. After that, it'll be peaceful. TIOD. Lin Chaoming finally fell to the floor. I wonder if you picked a successor. Honestly, I hope you didn't. It'll make China noisy. Cossack smiled darkly. The poison injection was complete, a poison he made by converting his own energy. It wasn't that strong. If you could handle mana, you could detox it easily, but an ordinary human would never endure it. They wouldn't even be able to find the poison component. With everything finished, Cossack slid into the darkness and vanished. In Genenel wed the land is at Umbel. Department of Homeland Security, Washington. Director Antonio of the Tower Clearing Division rushed to the office after being summoned by Secretary Macmillan. With disasters exploding left and right lately, he was getting a little uneasy, and sure enough, nast niln na lendom. Yet that ptind wajem scree. The players requested rescue at the U.S. Embassy in China. Yeah, and they're claiming they were kidnapped. Right, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, 8 total. No, kidnapping, fine, but how did they escape? They wouldn't say the details. They said their cell doors suddenly opened, and when they came out into the hall, all the guards were already down. That was impossible. There was definitely a helper who rescued them. For example, those 2 players who had wiped out the terrorists in one shot at the HG Hotel fashion show. Could it be the people from back then? I know what you're trying to say, but there's nothing certain yet. Antonio agreed with Secretary Macmillan. They'd only know after an investigation. How does the White House plan to respond? For now, we protect them. And I already contacted each country's embassy. And after that, I'm thinking this is a pretty big issue. It is. China kidnapping players. Until now, it had only circulated as rumors because there hadn't been anything resembling solid evidence. But now it was different. Witnesses existed. 8 players of different nationalities. And this came in from the CIA. Secretary Macmillan lowered his voice and spoke carefully. They're saying Chairman Lin might have had an incident. Chairman Lin? You mean Chairman Lin Chaoming, China's top leader? Correct. No. What kind of incident? Illness? An accident? Don't tell me. An assassination? They're leaning toward illness, but that's not confirmed either. Serious enough that we should prepare. They say it's pretty severe, a major incident. The player kidnappings being exposed was enormous, but something happening to China's top power was even more shocking. It'll novelite, don't copy, read here, be loud for a while. Very. You'll have a rough time too, sir. Nowd. Who was he kidding? At this rate, he'd barely be able to go home. You focus on the tower clearing too. Why don't you use this chance to dig up a rookie? We can't keep relying on Gerald forever. We're working hard. Just with words? Let's get our own S++ clear record holder. It was what Antonio wanted too, an American S++ clear record holder. He'd be willing to treat them like an emperor, but first they had to show up. A terror incident that happened in central Beijing, but Chinese media didn't even mention it. 2 booms thundered through the city before dawn, and public security, soldiers, ambulances, even fire trucks were all over the streets raising hell, yet still. The news broke first through foreign outlets. That afternoon, an expose on a U.S. news channel. One after another, the players claiming they were kidnapped came forward and exposed China's atrocities. The world erupted. China kidnapped players, forced them to naturalize, then threw them into tower clearing. Originally, it was an unverified horror story. There was suspicion, but no proof. But now 8 witnesses had appeared. Every one of them was a player who had been declared dead in their home country's tower or listed as missing. The countries directly involved released statements condemning the Chinese government. Punish the responsible parties, a direct apology from the Chinese chairman, compensation measures, and so on. Of course, even countries that weren't directly involved denounced China. If they didn't want to be branded a criminal state, they needed to offer a sincere apology as soon as possible. Even as every country in the world lodged official protests, the Chinese government didn't respond at all. Normally, by this point, a spokesperson would be on domestic TV yelling about slander, baseless accusations, and how they would never forgive countries spreading rumors without proof. But China did China. Wow, somehow our country dodged it because we're developed? Dodged it my ass. There was supposedly a similar attempt before, the hotel incident too. So what happens now? China does a grand bow? Like hell, they'll play dumb. But why are they saying nothing, right? The whole world is cursing them together. Nin, this is the exact timing for excuses. We will never tolerate insulting the Chinese nation. Nin, are they using this chance to build tolerance or something? This part isn't confirmed, but what? Someone got admitted to a VIP suite at Beijing University Hospital. So what? I've got an acquaintance over there, and supposedly a rumor's leaking out that it's Lin Chaoming. No way, the Chinese chairman. The rumor spread wider and wider. China was shaking. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Zhu Hek watched the TV too. Complete rescue of the kidnapped players. How could he not trust them after that? As expected of the original members, the loyal retainer, Cossack. Incredible. I can't not be impressed. How did you rescue everyone without losing a single person? I just pulled a little trick, sir. He. Geez, pull that trick twice and China might collapse. Ha 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 ha. Actually, I pulled the trick twice. What? Huh? What did you just— No, sir, I didn't say anything. And Veronica, humph, cool, cool. She was asleep, so let's not wake her. Either way, the nagging unease that had been stuck in a corner of his mind was completely resolved. I honestly feel like I want to reward you. Like before, an allowance? Keep it, sir. I still haven't spent what you gave me last time. It feels shameless to only say thank you. No, sir. If Summoner Bong gives me one warm word, this Cossack, my energy starts surging. Still, he couldn't just clap his hands and move on. Anyone could praise with words. Money was refused, and buying beef was already overused, and it wasn't like he could hand out cars either. He wanted something symbolic, something that could remain permanently, like a medal. Wait, he did have something similar. Cossack. Yes, sir. Want me to pin a medal on you, huh? A medal? Cossack's face said he had no idea what was going on. You mean something you pin on your chest, sir? Yeah? Something that sparkles? Yes, a medal. In that instant, Veronica sprang up beside them. Sergeant Veronica Caliber, a award medal? Stop. The other summoned entities reacted too. They'd been absorbed in their own work, but at the word medal, they stopped and turned their eyes on Ju Hyuk. Unexpectedly explosive interest. I'll pin it on you. Come here. Cossack approached Chu Hyuk with a stiff, tense expression. It wasn't fun to just pin it. Might as well make it look official. Summoned entity Cossack. Yes, sir. Chu Hyuk opened his inventory and pulled out a platinum badge. Through perfect planning and execution, you safely returned the kidnapped players to their homes, and your merit is great. Therefore, I award you this medal. No, this badge. Cossack's eyes went wide. Who? This precious thing. You deserve it, Cossack. You handled the job brilliantly. Summoner Bong. The other summoned entities stared with jealous eyes. The assassin Cossack receiving a medal from Summoner Bong. An unprecedented event. A medal. I'm jealous. Fratersten Kofal. Kako. Must be nice. Squeak. A badge received as an S++ clear reward. Ju Hyek currently owned 63 badges total, including the ones from Black Tower, United Arab Emirates. He'd already taken every privilege those granted, so what was the point of hoarding them? But now they had a use. This was when you used them. A complete player rescue was basically on the level of an S++ clear anyway. The badge even had a pin to attach to clothing. Ju Hyuk pinned the platinum badge to Cossack's chest. Thank you, sir. I don't know where to put myself, but I won't be satisfied until the day my entire chest is filled with badges. This Cossack will give my whole strength and devote my loyalty to Summoner Bong. Cossack raised both hands high, wearing a proud expression. Then, to show the badge off to the other summoned entities, he puffed out his chest and made a full lap around the living room. How could there not be applause? It was very quiet, though. Everyone congratulated him, but they were jealous. I can do well, too. A platinum badge pinned on by the summoner himself. How are you supposed to endure that? Next, Veronica Caliber stepped forward. Whoosh! Veronica reacted like lightning. Wait, me too? Of course. Veronica hurried, but quickly stood in front of Ju Hyuk at attention. Summoned entity Veronica, Sergeant Veronica Caliber. Alongside Cossack, you used elusive magic gun marksmanship to protect the hostages and safely escort them to a secure place. Your merit is great, so I award you this badge. Certain victory. Ju Hyuk pulled another badge from his inventory, and as he moved to pin it onto Veronica, this is awkward. Veronica thrust her chest out to make it easy to pin. What now? Two enormous somethings filled Juhyek's entire vision, and her enhancement suit was full-body tights, meaning it clung. Dangerous. I can't exactly not pin it. Gulp. Juhyek swallowed hard. Screw it. With a trembling hand, he lightly pinched a bit of the enhancement suit fabric at Veronica's chest and poked the badge in. Sergeant Veronica Caliber, this is the most glorious, proud medal I've received so far. For the commander's victory, I will fight with burning zeal. Applause drained of strength from pure envy. Kya, it's a medal, a medal! Veronica shouted hooray and bounced around the living room. Meanwhile, Meatshield squeezed his eyes shut, Princess Kiandale sighed, and Rajix lay face down on the floor, cleaning with a rag like his soul had left his body. But then, next, summoned entity Princess Kiandale. Famsad, Veli, me, Princess Kiandale's eyes sparkled. I receive your command. By performing the cleansing rite, you greatly contributed to obtaining the trait enhancement rune with a single click. Therefore, I award you this badge. I am unworthy. How could such a great reward be bestowed upon a lowly girl? What great reward? It was just one badge, but she looked like she was about to die of happiness, and that made the giver feel good too. Clap, 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 clap. The applause grew louder, because now, instead of disappointment, expectation had risen. Princess Kyandale got one. Past merit was being applied retroactively. Then, summoned entity Barbarian Warrior Meatshield. Here, me too, I'm coming. Swoosh! So excited he expanded, Meatshield's body swelling huge. Shrink your body, you're too big. Swoosh! During the floor 60 Wyvern Lord Clear, you threw your body into a poison puddle to protect your allies. Therefore, I award you a merit badge. He was shirtless, so there was nowhere to pin it. In the end, Juhyuk pinned it to the waistband of the pants that hadn't torn even when he enlarged. He. Meatshield grinned and stroked the badge on his waistband with his hand. Was it that good? In that instant, roar! Rajix couldn't stand it any longer. He rolled right up to Juhyuk's feet. Squeak! He stomped his feet, firing an urgent gaze that begged for the badge right now. Oh man, he's adorable. He was already puffing out little snorts. Summoned entity Rajix. Squeak! Through harvesting basilisk leather and collecting tower ores, you greatly contributed to our finances. Therefore, I award you this merit badge. Squeak! For Rajix, Juhyuk pinned the badge onto the subspace backpack. Squeak! Good! Floaty, Rajix spun his chubby body in circles on the spot, savoring the joy. Then Juhyuk pulled out one more badge. Summoned entity Rajix. Huh? Why call him again? Was he going to take it back? Squeak? Through collecting rune fragments and ticket fragments, you performed immense service for the tower climbs that will unfold in the future. Therefore, I award you one more badge. Squeak? Rajix trembled head to toe. Two? Only me? Two? The other summoned entities nodded like, yeah, fair. He deserved it. How many accomplishments had he stacked? Squeeng! Tears pooled in Rajix's big eyes, but his face was full of happiness. Were badges really that good? If he'd known, he would have handed them out earlier. Seriously, hearing praise 100 times with words was nothing compared to one physical badge. Juhyuk was satisfied too. Later, for any summoned entity who collected 5, he should give them a privilege. Hey, today's floor 63 clear, it's dark skeletons. It won't be too hard, right? The summoned entity's expression suddenly turned solemn. Leave it to us, sir. Summoner Bong's right hand, master of bone broth stock, Mahjong Dong Butcher. This Cossack will handle it all. Sergeant Veronica Caliber, peerlessly accurate magic gunner, the reaper of monsters, the milk-white Lone Ranger, I will sever every skeleton joint with magic gun rounds. Warrior Meat Shield, avatar of regeneration, Meat Shield tank, aggro expert. I'll earn the badge I got. This girl, the finest shamaness of the heavenly empire, pro of the cleansing rite, conductor of bells and drums, I will shake the bell until my wrist breaks. Why is everyone copying me, sir? Our characters overlap and squeak like he was telling them to trust only him. Radix whipped out a gleaming golden pickaxe, slung it onto his shoulder, and shot them a fierce glare. A little scary. You could feel his desire for badges radiating out. Still, the motivation was perfect. Asterisk, 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 asterisk of floor 63. Dark skeletons, a bony body with no skin at all, insanely hard, not bone, metal level, a place where blunt weapons were stronger than blades. A huge axe or a greatsword would work fine, but maybe because they'd been soldiers in a past life, they didn't rush in bare-handed. They charged with shields and knives, swords and spears. None spears. Kill 15 dark skeletons. The mission dropped. The party stirred. A chance to earn merit. Especially Radix. He smiled in bliss the moment they entered. He could smell it. He could smell it. The scent of holy attribute power buried somewhere underground. Squeak, material to repair the holy sword, and another platinum badge shone clearly in front of his eyes. Radix was still hungry. He wouldn't stop. Not until he filled the entire subspace backpack with sparkling platinum badges. Gandak, Barbarian Warrior Meat Shield. Honestly, when the assassin got his medal first, I was secretly jealous. Even though I wasn't acting like a warrior, I still got petty. It couldn't be helped. He definitely earned it. But to pin a badge on me, too, how grateful was that? I'll repay it with loyalty. Dark aura enhanced skeletons. They're a nasty kind of enemy. Hard bones, and they're even holding weapons. If you let your guard down, a blade slips right in and wrecks your body. Even a body tougher than steel gets pierced. That's what's terrifying about Dark Aura. This is a section that needs evasive tanking. Charging in blindly won't do. But Meat Shield had no such thing as evasion. Coo! A taunting battle cry. Come on, I'll take you all, so the badge won't be ashamed of me. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Veronica rolled across the battlefield without a second to breathe. She fired and withdrew in prone sniping mode, sprayed in assault mode, and the moment something tried to close in, she swung the buttstock to make space. A whole catalog of tactical actions played out. PA shut, PA shut, PA shut. The more medals, the better. They were proof, as a soldier, that you'd been recognized by your commander, and that's how you became top priority for promotion. Veronica's regret from when she was alive wasn't just that she never got to sleep properly. Right before she died, she'd earned merit, but she died without a promotion. A 2-rank battlefield promotion had been basically guaranteed, but in the end, she died a sergeant. She never even got to see a staff sergeant's insignia, but if it was a badge, couldn't it fulfill the wish she never got to see through? Gyandale, too, poured sweat as she devoted herself to the cleansing rite. To be honest, compared to the overwhelming power of holy attribute energy, her rite fell a little short, because it focused more on soothing the dead than suppressing them. So while she could weaken the dark aura, an unclean energy, she couldn't deliver a direct blow. If, at this rate, a saintess or priest class got pulled on the next random summon, she might get kicked out, never mind getting a badge. At this point, she understood what Cossack and Radix must have been feeling back then. You had to prove your existence, non-stop, even if only to repay the platinum badge, proof of trust bestowed by Master. The shamanesque Yandale's dance grew even more violent. KWA, KWA, WA, Rajik's eyes bloodshot, dug into the ground like a madman. If a spot smelled suspicious, he dug it up, no questions asked. Look at this, even now. The warrior, the magic gunner, the shamaness, the assassin. They were all frantically killing skeletons. Why were they going so fast? At this rate, once the clear ended, the search would end immediately too. They weren't doing it on purpose, but either way, they were basically enemies that got in his way. Squeak! He got another holy relic fragment, and a ticket fragment too. The next badge is mine. The higher the floors climbed, the more it would favor him. He'd be able to dig up even more item fragments. Cossack was slightly flustered. No, what's wrong with them? Since when were they this hard-working? They were carrying out the mission like people with no tomorrow, desperately. And it wasn't like their coordination was bad either, absolutely not. Meat Shield pulled aggro. Veronica sprayed small rounds to deal wide-area damage, and Gyandale's dance grew even more limp and wavering. The hunting was extremely efficient. If anything, it ran more organically than before, and Rajik's, just looking at his face, you could tell. Looks like he found something again, the most threatening competitor here. Ha, Rajik's worker. Can't I make a living too? This won't do. I need to butcher harder. At this rate, I won't even get a whiff of a badge. Left alone, Juhyak. He just stood there blankly, holding only the holy sword. Why did I bring the holy sword? What was I going to do with this? Is it just for decoration? It does look cool. Radiance light is wrapping around my whole body. The party's momentum changed. Before they even did anything, the skeletons were already cracking apart and turning into ingredients for bone broth stock. Why is everyone like this? Did you want badges that badly? Busy. Don't talk to me, sir. Meat Shield. Coo. Veronica. Sergeant. Skeleton approaching the front. Skull penetration. Damage accumulation sufficient. Requesting finishing. Princess? Princess? The Western Flower Gardens that way. What's Rajik's doing? Squeak. Roll. Kablua, 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 kablua. Ooh. When I awakened as a player, I thought I was finally done being a loner. Guess I was wrong. If this isn't exclusion, what is? You want badges that badly? You want to pin them on your chest that much? Not happening. I'm not making it easy. I'll make you beg on your knees for just one. You have achieved clear rank S++ on Black Tower, Korea, floor 63. It's over. Relayab Mavilel. Come, let's just do repeat clears. I should peel some hides. Tower player awakening administration. Commissioner Park Kyung-soo and Deputy Commissioner Jun Gwang-il sat facing each other, talking. Honestly, if it weren't you, I never would have believed it. Same here. If you only hear it in words, how could you believe it? Control. The hardest part for players with the summoning trait is their summons, should I call them summoned entities? Anyway, was there any issue controlling them? No, at least not so far. Jun Gwang-il recalled what he'd seen back then. The white man who appeared the moment Bong Joo-hyuk shouted, "Summon." When Jun told him, "As you can see, this is the situation," he said they also needed to bring Meat Shield, and vanished in an instant. The giant called Meat Shield was the same. With his massive body, he protected Bong Joo-hyuk and smashed the terrorists to pieces. At a single word from player Bong, they moved in perfect unison. What is there to control? They just handled everything on their own. Seriously, summoning people, and people who speak Korean? It was absurd. Human summoning. Fine, let's say it's possible. People summon spirits, golems, beasts, so summoning people might be possible too. But it hadn't happened inside the tower. It happened in the real world, meaning Bong Joo-hyuk was a player who could use tower abilities even in reality. If that fact got out, it'll be chaos. This wasn't a simple problem. He could be classified as dangerous in an instant. He's not some villain or criminally inclined, is he? Not at all. Sure, I'm the only witness, but why do you think Player Bong revealed his ability? It was to save Player Nam Gaon and everyone else. Your novelite official version, not wrong, but if he'd been rotten at heart or purely selfish, he would have run away alone. He had the ability to do that, but will other people think that way? Humanity shared a common enemy, the Black Tower. In theory, they should show unity, consideration, solidarity, yet that was just an ideal. Competition between nations only grew harsher. They didn't hesitate to do petty, unethical things. Just look at China kidnapping players. The secrets keep piling up. I can't even see the right response anymore. Feels like my head's going to explode. Watching Park Kyung-soo grow troubled, John Gwang-il carefully made a suggestion. How about this? What? Player Bong's summons. No, the summoned entities. Aren't they people in the end? They are. Then we treat them as people. We make them citizens of the Republic of Korea. Park Kyung-soo went blank for a moment, processing the meaning, then suddenly sat up straighter. Citizens of the Republic of Korea. We just have to hide that they're summoned entities, don't we? Even if their identities come out later, people will only know they're players with Republic of Korea nationality. Player naturalization falls under the Tower Player Awakening Administration. We can create brand new identities seamlessly. That was true. Making an identity wasn't hard. It wasn't like they'd never done naturalization work. They'd done a ton of it. Players were national assets by definition. Elite players climbed uncleared towers. Regular players supplied magic stones and tower materials. If a foreign player requested naturalization, unless they were criminals, they accepted them unconditionally. They'd naturalized plenty recently, too. Defector players who crossed over from North Korea, asylum players from politically unstable countries, immigrant players who came because they liked Korea, a new start as a Korean. The past got washed clean. Player Bong's summoned entities were the same. What was the problem? They were people. That's a very, very good idea. I'll meet Player Bong and propose it. Yeah, just don't push too hard. Be careful. In that moment, knock, knock. With the sound of knocking, Section Chief Lee Mina entered the office. Section Chief, welcome. What is it? Black Tower, Republic of Korea. Floor 63 was just cleared at S++ rank. Ah, I see. I contacted him separately. He said he'll clear floor 64 tomorrow and then return the Holy Sword for safekeeping. Understood. They'd talked about it before. He'd said he'd go through floor 64 and then rest for a bit. He could go up to floor 66. Then wouldn't the public get anxious? They'd start fearing they don't know when floor 67 will be cleared. It was true they had to match the time limit. They had to use the 6-month clear limit efficiently. Which country's reservation is next for the Holy Sword? Russia. I don't trust those bare bastards. Don't worry, they won't be able to try anything. The Holy Sword had already become a global public asset. If it disappeared or got damaged beyond repair, the entire world would obviously rise up, unless some lunatic terrorist showed up and decided, you die and I die too. That was why, at the national level, they vetted everything thoroughly and only rented it to each country's top player. And after Russia? Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia should be fine. Maybe they could even rent it twice. Ha ha ha. I'm looking forward to it too. Player Bong will like that. They could rent it 3 times even, as long as the rental fee got wired. And since it was 2 people, 2 copies of naturalization paperwork should do it, right? It's not like there are more. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Juhyuk's penthouse. Laughter bloomed everywhere. Normally, as floors went up, the difficulty was supposed to rise, but it got easier instead. Did you see? I'm Summoner Bong's right hand, sir. It can't be helped. This young lady is Master's left hand. A warrior is the summoner's dependable right leg. Huh? Then what am I, Sergeant Veronica? I'm my commander's burning heart. That's a bit. And Rajik's worker? Squeak. I'm summoner's nose. Nostrils, sir. But I smell things. Squeak. Then he rolled all the way up in front of Juhyuk. SHHHK. He spilled something out. Rune and ticket fragments. This many? Looks like he really dug like crazy. Squeak! Should I try matching them? Slide, slide. Same pieces clicked together. Mismatched ones didn't react. And then, suddenly, FWAASH light flared. Ooh, finally, a complete item came out of the fragments. He earned merit again. Do I give him a badge or not? Squeak, I'll work even harder. Rule. Before I could even think it through, Rajix rolled off over there, like he decided this level wasn't enough to earn a badge. Well, if he completes one more, I should give him a badge. At this rate, Rajix might practically monopolize the badges. Tomorrow we clear floor 64, and after that I'll return the Holy Sword for safekeeping. They said the Holy Sword reservations are backed up, and there's also the event scheduled for floor 64, the perk. It's normally on floor 65, but with the multinational tower access ticket, it got pulled forward by one floor. I'll see what comes out, and random summon. I still hadn't decided whether to do it. It might be good to discuss it with the summoned entities. Anyway, after floor 64, what should I do? There's a lot of time left. Feels like I can finally start going out for real. Of course, not alone, together with the summoned entities. Right now, I didn't even have bodyguards. Sharp-eyed Deputy Commissioner Jun Guangil had pulled them all. I could move around freely. I didn't even need a perception interference talisman. Meat Shield evolved, so in his normal state his height wasn't even 2 meters. Cossack had a skill that let him change the shape of his face freely. Gandale, if she went out, looked like an ordinary high school girl. Veronica would look like a foreign tourist. Only Rajix worried me. But should I go department store shopping, buy a few outfits? But there's something I'm curious about. Princess, speak, please. If you're wearing real-world clothes and get dismissed, when you show up next time, do you appear wearing those same clothes? That is correct. It is as though the last appearance is automatically saved, and once you come outside, changes are applied automatically, so it doesn't disappear. One more thing. You said when you're dismissed, you go to the world of souls, right? That is correct. What kind of place is it? And what do you summoned entities look like there? I shall speak only within the range permitted to this young lady. Gandale began explaining point by point. It is a place so vast you cannot even imagine it. There, we exist only as souls, spirit bodies, ghosts. They were already dead after all. Everything becomes a concept. The items I possess, the clothes I wear. Perhaps it would be easiest if you think of it like computer game data. Game data. Tower clearing really is like a game. That's why awakened people are called players. Can you meet each other there? I mean us summoned entities. Well, it is so vast. Of course, if you wished to find someone, you could. But is there any need to do so? If we get summoned, we'll meet anyway. Anyway, it comes down to this. When summoned entities are dismissed, they return to the world of spirit bodies saved in the state they were in right before dismissal. When summoned again, that spirit body materializes and manifests in a form no different from a human. Got it. Then it's time to enjoy it. This abundant world of Earth. Let's pick a day and go out. Should we eat beef, sir? No. Shopping, the department store. Let's buy a few outfits. A warrior hates shopping, but if the summoner says go, I go. Ah, I like it, sir. I'll dress sharp, just in case. Put on a perception interference talisman each. Rajix, you'll be okay too, right? Rajix worker will look like an extremely obese child. Squeak? The holy sword rental fees will start coming in one after another soon, so I should spend hard instead of pinching pennies, blowing money. Yeah, I really wanted to try that at least once. Come to think of it, it'd be good to have a way to get around too. With this many people, taxis are awkward. Should I buy a car? I have a license, got it near the end of my service in the army. A van would be right, something like a 15-seater. Better to have room, since I don't know how many more people I'll end up with. Niedjaharb, my dendiu atgur.